What if I told you there are science-backed weapons that guys are using to blast their fertility while doubling and tripling the testosterone levels? Some of them even more. The biggest problem plaguing men today is infertility, and nobody's talking about it because everybody's embarrassed to say they've got it. Way more people have it than you think. In this video, we're going to go over everything you need to know to boost your fertility, boost your testosterone, and everything to avoid that the rest of the industry is using. The fertility crisis is real and it's getting worse. Global sperm counts have dropped by 59% over the last 50 years. And the scary part of that data is most of it is from after the year 2000, doubling down from a decline of 1.16% per year. In 2000, that switched to 2.64% per year that we're declining in sperm count. In the early 2000s, 1 in 10 couples reported having problems with conceiving. Today, that number is less than 1 in 6 households. We're on track for 20 years from now for that number to be 33% of couples having difficulty having children. Now, this isn't just an issue with men. In fact, infertility is wildly rampant in both men and women. They actually make up about a 50-50 split of the problem. In this video, we're going to be tackling the men's side. Now, there's 2 reasons that men have issues getting women pregnant. It's either low sperm count or low sperm quality. And right now, both are rampant. This is affecting millions of guys, but for some reason, it's really taboo to talk about it, even though a lot of people are experiencing it, and most people don't do anything until it's too late. Now, my question is that an accident or is that done on purpose? It's no secret that there are people out there who actively want to reduce the population. Some of them are the most powerful people on the planet. There are theories out there that really provoke the mind based on the data that's shown that show vaccines could be a method of depopulation. Although the medical community denies this, there's a lot of overwhelming data that might suggest otherwise. Again, I'm not here to tell you one way or the other. I'm just telling you the landscape of what's out there. Not to mention what's getting sprayed on our food between glyphosate and 2 and 4D that have shown to actively reduce fertility in men by over 39%. These are hard data and number points. Then there's our water that has PFAs and forever chemicals in them that have shown similar results on fertility in men. With all of these microplastics and all these different factors, it's no wonder that the fertility rates have dropped 50%. It seems like a really oblivious accident for the medical community to have missed. Meanwhile, IVF treatment remains a $50 billion industry. Somebody's making money on it. Now relax, there's a lot of medical intervention you can do ahead of time before having to spend tens of thousands of dollars trying to conceive a kid. And we've had some excellent success stories right here at my clinic. One of the biggest ones, we had a guy come into us. Testosterone was sitting at about 220 nanograms per deciliter, did not have a drop of sperm left in his body, could not conceive. I'm going to let you guys know the same 3 options we went over with him, and then also let you know which one he picked and what the result was afterwards. The first one lies on the peptide side, and that is Kisspeptin. Kisspeptin is incredible at natural stimulation, but be warned, this is not something you can use on TRT treatment. If you want Kisspeptin to work, you have to come off of your TRT. This works by stimulating the brain for GnRH release, which is going to stimulate both LH and FSH, which are your 2 main fertility hormones. In the phase 1 trials for this drug, the average LH increased by about 4.4. Meanwhile, testosterone increased by 40 to 50% on average. So someone who comes in around 400 nanograms per deciliter can get themselves up to 600 while maintaining and enhancing the quality of their fertility. Now, because this product stimulates LH and FSH, it is widely considered as one of the most sustainable long-term options that exist, but it has not left human trials yet. They haven't found any side effects on this stuff. I haven't seen any for myself or anybody that we've given it to out of the clinic. The dosing on this stuff ranges around 200-ish micrograms, and you can do that up to twice a day. The half-life is really short on this one. It's only about 4 minutes. With this treatment, guys notice all the signs of increasing testosterone as well as fertility. Their libido's back, their energy's back, their mood's back. Everything starts to function like a man again. Second on the docket is widely used in the TRT and steroid community, which is HCG, human chorionic gonadotropin. This one's really interesting. I've used it a ton myself, and I have a ton of positive feedback on it. But the way it works is it directly imitates LH. This is especially effective when using TRT or steroid-like compounds, because what happens a lot of the time is your testicles start to shrink because you've told your body, we have all this outside testosterone, we don't need to make any more. So your body shuts off and stops making its own. But when you supplement with HCG, you're telling your body, hey, even though we've got plenty of testosterone, we're going to put this LH in there to keep the testicles full and making sperm. In hypogonadal men, around 80% of users experience a full restoration. Now, it's funny, depending on how long you've been suppressing your natural testosterone, this process can take over a year, but it does show an incredibly high success rate and is drastically cheaper than most infertility intervention. Overall pregnancy rates for full studies on this product range over 57%. And while on TRT, it's going to preserve 50% of your natural testosterone production. So what I like to do is with TRT, I like to use HCG in conjunction. Number one, you're going to get an extra kick in your testosterone. Number two, it's going to make sure your body is not shutting down internally and forgetting the mechanisms that it takes to reproduce. Number one thing to watch out for on this one is going to be estrogen spikes. Some users, not everybody, some users notice upkicks in estrogen, at which point you want to modulate with something like DIM or Arimidex. I try to avoid estrogen blockers because the only thing worse than having high estrogen is having no estrogen. Everybody gets so scared of gynecomastia and having these side effects that they try to nuke their estrogen, and it ends up being way worse. When you have no estrogen, it completely destroys your neurocognitive ability. Most people will experience sexual dysfunction, and the mood swings you thought were going to be bad with high estrogen, wait until you see them with no estrogen. So if you're one of the people who experience an upkick in estrogen, try to modulate first with DIM if possible. Always make sure you're having a doctor oversee your blood work. If you guys are just shooting this in the dark and randomly trying to use testosterone or HCG or any of these other compounds without the direction of a doctor, you might as well just check yourself in for infertility right now. Typical dose on this is 500 IUs 2 to 3 times per week. I have always been a fan of higher dosing on this because I didn't really get any of the side effect. The last one on the list I am a huge proponent of, but it is only to be used in specific scenarios, and that is Enclomiphene citrate. The biggest area where Enclomiphene shines is on testosterone production. We're seeing people at our clinic right now 2xing, even 3xing their testosterone with Enclomiphene as a monotherapy. So without TRT, they are using Enclomiphene to get these ranges. Now, the clinical trials for this stuff typically range dosing around 12.5 milligrams every other day. We're seeing people go up to as much as 25 milligrams a day to achieve this, and getting equal results that they might have on something like TRT. The most extreme scenario we ever saw was we had a patient come in at 164 nanograms per deciliter. 30 days later, came back in at 964. Now, testosterone levels are multifaceted. That could have been because he tested at a different time of the day. He went out drinking last night. There is a lot that could have been involved in that. But regardless, in order to see a shift of that magnitude, something had to be changing from his hormonal state, and the Enclomiphene was the only therapy he was. Now, something to be worried about with this one is less than 5% of people do get side effects, but those who do notice things like a little bit of headache, sometimes blurry vision. So if you're noticing any of that, make sure you come to a complete halt medication as soon as possible. Now, our client that came to us with a 0 sperm count, we put him on 2 different therapies. We tried HCG and Enclomiphene together because he said, I don't want to take any chances. I just want to be able to impregnate my wife, and we helped him do that. After several months of treatment, he was able to fully conceive after coming back from nothing. So there's really effective merit in treatments like this. It is not an exact science. It's not going to work for everybody. Some people it's going to take 6 months. Some people it's going to take a year. Some people might take even longer. The important thing in this realm is to make sure you're sticking to your blood work and being monitored by a doctor to show your improvement. But the biggest thing you want to avoid is doctors that don't know what they're doing. I'm going to tell you a couple things that from my experience in the industry, if your doctor is prescribing these, he likely has no clue what he's doing. The first one is Clomid. It's spelled very similar to Enclomiphene, but they are wildly different drugs. They're chemically composed a little bit differently, but the main thing that's important is the fertility increase only increases by about 8%, and the testosterone increase is only by about 17%. And it comes with drastically more effective side effects like headaches, like mood swings, like increased estrogen. Anybody who says that Clomid or Enclomiphene is their go-to protocol probably is incredibly outdated or is not any sort of hormone specialist. The next one on this list, and this bothers me more than anything, is people who are prescribing Ganadorelin. Ganadorelin, some clinics are pitching that this is going to help restore your fertility. It does almost nothing for your fertility. It is purely aesthetic. It is purely to help with testicular atrophy. There is almost no benefit that something like Ganadorelin is going to have in terms of helping you get pregnant, maintain your fertility, keep your sperm while on TRT. I got sold this from the very first clinic I went to before I had any prior experience. And I found this out the hard way, knowing that after, I think it was 9 months of usage, that this was doing nothing for my fertility. And at the time, that was my main concern. Luckily, I didn't go long enough to the point where I completely shut down my body, but it was a scary sight. And the last one is Anastrozole or Arimidex. I can't believe that people are even getting prescribed this stuff. Even when it comes to the realm of fertility or increasing testosterone, it is virtually ineffective at both. It almost baffles me that people can practice the medicine this wrong. Anastrozole is designed to specifically block your estrogen. It's designed to modulate or even turn off your ability to produce estrogen. This has so little, almost nothing to do with the rate at which you're going to be able to conceive. And a lot of people are just doing this as a throw it out there kind of medicine. Oh, well, you don't want any estrogen, right? You're a man. And you, not knowing anything ahead of time, are listening to this doctor. Of course I don't want estrogen. I'm a man. I want higher testosterone. So let's lower my estrogen. I don't even understand the thought process behind that, but make sure that you're not going into these things uneducated, because an overwhelming majority of doctors, especially ones that are in family practice, general practice, not a hormone specialty clinic, are going to mess this treatment up and are likely going to suppress your estrogen so far down that you're going to get way worse side effects. So make sure you're doing this the right way with someone who's got real experience working with hormones. Look, guys, we live in a really weird time where we don't really know if people are directly coming at us, trying to poison us, trying to make us infertile, trying to attack us through our health. There's a lot of uncertainty out there. I've said it before, I'll say it again. It would be a really profitable accident for the big medical industries to have all these problems and just so happen to sell the cure. So it's really important that you take this into your own hands, that you start taking your health and your medicine into your own hands. You can't just blindly accept what the doctor's going to give you anymore, because most of them have no idea what they're giving you in the first place. But that's the purpose of this channel. I don't tell you this because I am any sort of medical fact, because I have all the answers. I am just telling you what I know from my experience and the things that we see in my clinic, as well as the research that me and my team are doing every day to bring you guys the best value and knowledge in this space. So if you like this kind of information, you're interested in your own health, in your own medication, and taking that into your own hands, and you don't want to trust that the medical industry just has your best interest in mind, hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications, and leave me a comment in the comment section telling me what you want to see next in the health industry, and I will uncover it for you guys. We'll see you in the next.